The small scout ship fell through the sky like a dying bird. Flames covered its wings as it crashed into the rocky land below. Logan sat in the pilot's seat, gripping the controls tightly. He had no way to stop the fall. Engines were gone, and the emergency systems had failed. All he could do was try to stay alive. The ground came fast. Logan braced himself as the ship hit the dirt with a loud crash. Metal bent and broke, glass shattered, and darkness followed. When Logan woke up, everything hurt. His head was bleeding, and his leg was trapped under part of the broken ship. He tried to move, but stopped when he heard voices outside. They were not speaking English. The words were harsh, growling sounds. The ship's door was torn open. Logan saw large shapes moving in the smoke. Then he saw them clearly, tall, strong creatures with glowing eyes, sharp armor, and faces that looked half human and half animal. They pointed strange weapons at him. Logan raised his hands. He was too weak to fight. One of the creatures stepped forward and spoke. The translator in Logan's suit picked up some of the words. Prisoner. Human. Take. They pulled him from the wreck and tied his hands. Logan didn't resist. He knew he had no chance. The creatures, he later learned they were called Zalar, marched him across dry land filled with sharp rocks and red sand. Their camp was surrounded by tall walls made of stone and bones. Inside the camp, Logan was thrown into a cage. He sat in the corner, breathing slowly, trying to stay calm. A group of the Zelari stood around, watching him like he was a wild animal. Then one of them stepped forward. She was different. Still strong and tall like the others, but there was something else in her eyes. Curiosity. Her armor was darker, and her hair was braided with small metal rings. She looked at Logan for a long time, then spoke to the others. The translator picked up her words. I will take this one. He is mine to watch. The others argued, but she silenced them with a sharp growl. Then she opened the cage and walked in. Logan stood up slowly. Who are you? She tilted her head. Kalira, I'm daughter of Warlord Travak. You are in my land. Logan gave a weak smile. Logan, Pilot Earth. She nodded. You speak, that is good. Kalira took him out of the cage and led him through the camp. The other warriors watched in silence. Logan noticed how they moved away from her path. She had power here. He was taken to a small stone room. There were no windows, only a single bed made. A fur and a table with strange tools, Kalira pointed. You stay here. You follow my rules. If you try to run, you die. Logan nodded. I won't run. She stepped closer. You are not like what I expected. You are calm, not weak, but not loud. He looked into her golden eyes. I'm just trying to survive. Kalira made a low sound, something like a laugh. Good. Then live. She turned and left, locking the door behind her. That night, Logan couldn't sleep. The room was quiet, but the camp outside was not. He heard shouting, weapons clashing, and strange beasts howling. He sat on the bed, wondering how far from Earth he was, and if rescue would ever come. The next morning, a new face appeared. A Zelari male entered with food and tried to force Logan to eat while standing. When Logan resisted, the handler slapped him. Logan stumbled back, but before he could react, Kalira arrived. She saw the scene and growled loud enough to make the handler freeze. Without a word, she jumped forward and sank her fangs into his arm. The handler screamed and dropped the food. Kalira shoved him to the ground and stood over him. You touch what is mine again, and I will rip out your throat. The handler crawled away quickly. Logan stared at her, shocked. You bit him. Kalira wiped her mouth. He forgot his place. Later that day, Logan was brought before the camp leader, Captain Draxon. He was taller than Kalira, his armor decorated with bones and skulls. He looked at Kalira, then at Logan. This human is not a pet. He is a prisoner. Kalira crossed her arms. He is under my care. I decide what happens. The captain growled. You challenge me? Kalira stepped forward. I do not bow to cowards. The room fell silent. Even Logan could feel the danger. Draxon glared at her, but said nothing. After a tense moment, he turned and left. Kalira looked at Logan. "Come, you stay in my quarters now." Logan followed her through the camp, his heart beating fast. He had no idea what was happening. But he knew one thing. His life had just become a lot more complicated. Logan sat on the floor of Kalira's quarters. The room was larger than his last cell. There were heavy curtains over the stone walls, and strange lights that glowed a soft blue. In one corner, weapons hung from hooks. In another, a small fire pit burned gently, giving the room warmth. Kalira stood near the fire. She didn't say much. Logan watched her from a distance. Looked strong, her back straight, her eyes sharp. She didn't act like a guard. She acted like someone in control. "Why did you bring me here?" Logan asked finally. Kalira looked at him. "Because I wanted to." "That's not an answer." He walked toward him. "You are not just a prisoner now. You are under my protection. It makes others angry, but I don't care." Logan frowned. "Why protect me? I'm just one human." Kalira sat across from him. "Because I have watched how you act. You do not beg, you do not shout, you think, you wait. That is not weak, that is different." Logan gave a small nod. "Different can be dangerous." Kalira smiled a little. "Yes, that is why I like it." Days passed. Logan stayed in her quarters. She gave him food, water, and space. She asked him questions about Earth, what it looked like, what humans believed, what war meant to them. In return, she told him about the Zalari, about their long battles for power, about how the strong ruled and the weak served. She told him she was the daughter of a powerful warlord, but she never wanted to lead like the others. One morning, Logan tried to step outside for air. 2 Zalari guards blocked the door. One shoved him back roughly. Logan stayed calm but clenched his fists. Later, Kalira returned. Logan told her what happened. She didn't say anything. She walked straight to the guards. Logan followed behind her. The guards stood tall. "Human has no rights to walk freely," one said. Kalira narrowed her eyes. "He walks where I say. If you touch him again, you lose your hands." The guards looked at each other. One laughed. "You give orders like a captain?" Kalira growled. "Then maybe I should be one." With that, she grabbed the laughing guard by the throat and slammed him to the ground. The other stepped back quickly. Logan stared. In shock, no one tried to stop her. That night, Kalira told Logan that more people were talking. Some said she was going too far. Others were curious. She had taken a human and made him part of her space. It was something no one had done before. Logan looked at her carefully. "What do you want from me, really?" Kalira was quiet for a moment. "I don't know yet. But I feel like the way we live, ... it's broken. Maybe you can show me something better." Logan nodded. "I can try." The next day, Captain Draxon returned to the quarters. He entered without knocking. Logan stood near the fire and Kalira was sharpening a blade. "This ends now," the captain said. "The human goes back to the cages. You go back to your place." Kalira stood up slowly. "No, he stays here. He learns. And I learn from him." Draxon stepped forward. "You shame your blood. You put a beast in your bed." Kalira stepped between them. "He is not a beast. He is smarter than most of the warriors here. He is an enemy." Kalira raised her chin. "Then why does he speak of peace? Why does he help instead of harm?" The captain's face twisted with anger. "You defy me again? This is your last chance." Kalira stepped forward, her voice calm but strong. "Then take me down if you dare, but I will not give him up." Draxon looked at her for a long moment. Then he turned and walked out. Logan let out a breath. That could have gone badly. Kalira sat back down. It still might. Later, Kalira brought Logan a gift, a small stone pendant on a leather cord. "This?" Logan asked. "A sign," she said. "It means you are under my banner. They won't touch you now." He took it and held it in his hand. "Thanks." "Don't thank me yet," she said. "The hard part is coming." Logan looked at her. "Why are you risking so much?" Kalira didn't answer. She only stared at the fire, her eyes glowing in the low light. From that night on, Logan was not just a prisoner. He was a part of her life. And in that quiet space between danger and peace, something new began to grow. Something new began to grow, something didn't fully understand yet, but they both felt it was important. And they both knew it was only the beginning. Logan woke early. The sky outside Kalira's window was still dark. He sat up quietly, not wanting to disturb her. She was resting on a thick mat, one arm over her chest and a blade within reach. Even in sleep, she looked ready for battle. He walked to the corner and looked at the small fire. The embers were still warm. He sat down and thought about everything that had happened. He was no longer just a prisoner. He had food, a place to sleep, and someone who saw value in him. But he also knew it wouldn't last unless he made himself useful. Later that morning, Kalira woke and stretched. She looked at Logan. "You rise early." "Old habit," he said. She nodded. "Good. You train today." Logan raised an eyebrow. "Train? With who?" "With me," Kalira said, standing up and tossing him a wooden staff. "Show me how humans fight." They went outside into a small training yard behind her quarters. It was surrounded by stone walls, giving them privacy. Kalira took a stance and pointed at him. "Attack me." Logan held the staff and circled her slowly. He didn't want to hurt her, though he doubted he could. Moved in with a quick strike. She blocked it easily. Again, she said. He tried again and again. Every time, she blocked or dodged. Sometimes she pushed him down, but each time, she helped him up. "You move with care," she said after a while. "But you don't strike to kill." "I don't believe in killing unless I have to." Kalira tilted her head. Strange words for a soldier. "I'm a pilot. I was trained to fly, not fight." "Then why do you carry a weapon?" "To protect people, not to hurt them." Kalira looked thoughtful. "Perhaps that is why you are still alive." They trained every day after that. Logan learned to move faster, to block better, and to use his mind as much as his hands. Kalira began to show him Zalari combat styles. She explained that most of their battles were about strength and speed. "But you fight with mind," she said one day. "That is something they don't understand." One afternoon, she took him to a large open space where other warriors trained. They watched as Logan sparred with one of Kalira's friends, a young Zalari named Raka. Raka was faster and stronger, but Logan used timing and trick moves to stay in the match. He didn't win, but he earned respect. Some of the other warriors started to notice him. They no longer called him names or spat when he passed. Some even nodded in greeting. Kalira was proud. "They see now you are more than weak flesh." But not everyone was pleased. Captain Draxon continued to watch from a distance. He spoke little, but his eyes were full of hate. One night, Kalira returned from a meeting with other leaders. She looked angry. "They say I am breaking rules," she said. "They want me to put you back in a cage." Logan stayed quiet for a moment. "Are you going to?" Kalira stared at him. "No, but it means we must be careful." Logan nodded. "I understand." A few days later, Kalira called a small group together in her quarters. She introduced them to Logan. They were younger Zelar who supported her. Warriors who are tired of old ways. "This is the human," she told them. "He teaches, he listens. He is not like others. He is not here to rule us. He is here to help us grow." Logan looked around the room. He saw curious eyes, some uncertain, but none hateful. "I don't want to change your people," he said. "I only want to share what I know. We can learn from each other." The warriors nodded. One of them, a female named Sarah, stepped forward. "Then teach us something human, something different." Logan thought for a moment. Then he smiled. "All right, let's start with strategy." He took out pieces of wood and placed them on the floor like a small battlefield. He began to explain how humans use traps, feints, and misdirection. Kalira watched with interest. The others leaned in close, listening. They asked questions and offered their own ideas. For the first time, Logan felt like a part of something. The group began meeting every night. They trained together, learned together, and slowly began to change how they thought. Kalira walked with Logan one night under the stars. "You have done more than I expected," she said. I didn't do it alone, Logan replied. She looked at him. You think like water, soft, but strong. He smiled. You're not so bad yourself. Kalira laughed. A real laugh. They stopped and looked out at the edge of the camp. The stars above were bright. For a moment, there was peace. But Logan knew things would not stay peaceful for long. He could feel it coming. Something was changing, and not everyone would accept it. Asterisk. The sun burned high in the sky as Logan stepped onto the training ground. Today was different. A crowd had gathered. Warriors lined the edge of the circle, waiting to see the human fight again. Logan wasn't nervous. He had trained with Kalira every day. He had learned from her. Today, he would fight with both skill and mind. His opponent was a strong Zalari. Warrior named Dravik. He was bigger, faster, and known for his power in battle. He didn't like Logan. He didn't hide it. His human is weak, Dravik said to the crowd. He should not train with us. Logan stepped forward. Then show me. The fight began. Dravik charged fast. Logan didn't try to match strength. He moved, dodged, used Dravik's speed against him. Every time Dravik struck hard, Logan slipped away, or used his staff to redirect the force. The crowd watched in silence. Logan didn't win, but he didn't lose. After many rounds, both fighters stood still, breathing hard. Kalira stepped forward. Enough. This was not about power. It was about learning. Dravik looked at Logan and gave a slow nod. He has skill. That simple nod changed things after the fight. More warriors came to speak with Logan. They asked about his home, his training. His thoughts? He answered simply. He didn't try to impress them. He just told the truth. Later that day, Kalira sat with him by the fire. You are changing them, she said. Not me. The ideas, Logan replied. But you are the one who brings them. Logan looked at her. Why do you let me? You could have sent me away. Kalira looked into the fire. Because I see what they can't. You bring light to a dark place. The days passed. Logan started teaching more often. He taught small groups about tactics, balance, and patience. Showed how working together could win more than fighting alone. Some listened. But more and more came each day. One night, a new voice spoke in the shadows. Captain Draxon. You shame your people, he said to Kalira. You let a human speak as if he is one of us. Kalira stood slowly. He earned respect. He did what you never. Could he brought change? You call it change? I call it weakness? Logan stood beside her. You fear something you don't understand. Draxon glared at him. You are nothing. A soft voice in a world of blades, Kalira stepped forward. And let us see whose blade holds true. I challenge you. Hey. The words hung in the air. Draxon laughed. You dare challenge your captain? I do. The next morning, the entire outpost gathered. A circle was marked. 2 fighters would enter. One would win. The other would kneel or fall. Kalira stood tall, her blade shining in the light. Across from her, Draxon raised his heavy axe. He was older, but strong. He had led many battles. Logan watched from the edge, heart beating fast. The fight began. With a loud clash, Kalira moved fast, striking low and high. Draxon swung with force, each blow shaking the ground. They fought like 2 storms meeting. Kalira took a cut to her arm. Draxon bled from the leg. But neither slowed. Then, Kalira found her moment. She ducked under a wide swing and moved behind him. With a sharp strike, she brought him to the ground. The crowd fell silent. Draxon groaned, holding his side. Kalira stood over him, blade pointed down. End it, he spat. Kalira looked at him for a long moment. Then she lowered her blade. No, I show you something greater. Mercy. Gasps filled the air. Some shouted, some clapped. Kalira turned and walked away. That night, Logan sat with her near the fire. Yes. Could have ended him. Yes. But then I would be just like him. Logan nodded. You did the right thing. She looked at him. I hope the others think so. In the days that followed, Kalira took control of the outpost. She gave new orders. She allowed Logan to teach openly. She formed small teams who would learn both human and Zalari ways. Not everyone agreed. Some whispered behind her back, and many followed. One evening, Kellyra and Logan stood on the tower wall watching the sun go down. "Do you miss your world?" she asked. "Sometimes," Logan said. "But this place feels like it could be something more." Kellyra nodded. "Maybe we build something better here, together." As the sky turned red, Logan felt a quiet hope. For the first time, he believed there might be peace in this place. But deep down, he also knew peace never came easy. Not when fear still lived in the shadows, and not when old powers refused to fade away. The days after the fight between Kellyra and Draxon were quiet. Too quiet. Logan felt it in the air. Whispers filled the corners of the outpost. Some warriors showed respect. Others kept their distance. Some refused to meet Kaylor's eyes at all. Kaylor stayed strong. She led with calm and control. She listened, gave orders, and tried to build trust. But she could feel the shift too. Not everyone wanted peace. Not everyone welcomed a change. One morning, Logan walked through the outpost with Sarah, the young warrior who had joined their side. They talked about teaching a new group how to fight using teamwork. As they passed the weapon yard, Logan stopped. He saw something strange to warriors speaking in hushed voices, looking around nervously. One of them was a loyalist of Draxon. "You think they're planning something?" Sarah asked. Logan nodded. "I don't like the look of it. Let's tell Kellyra." They returned to her quarters. Kellyra listened carefully. "I knew it would not be easy," she said. "Some believe Draxon should still rule. We must be ready." That night, Kellyra gathered her closest allies, Sarah, Raka, and a few others. Logan stood with them. They made plans. To keep watch, to protect the outpost from within. The next 2 days passed in tense silence. Kellyra continued her duties, but she never left her blade behind. Logan stayed close, teaching during the day, keeping watch at night. Then it happened. Just before dawn, a loud noise broke the quiet. Explosions shook the walls. Fire lit the sky. Logan jumped from his bed and ran outside. The outpost was under attack from within. A group of rebels, warriors still loyal to Draxon, had taken the North Tower. They lit the gate on fire and began moving through the camp. Their goal was to remove Kellyra and take back control. Kellyra met them head-on. She fought with her blade drawn, her warriors beside her. Logan joined the battle with only a staff. Helping defend the central tower, the fighting was fierce. Sparks flew, swords clashed, shouts filled the air. Logan defended a young warrior who had fallen, pulling him to safety in the chaos. He turned and saw Kellyra facing 3 rebels alone. He ran toward her. One of the rebels struck. Logan stepped between them just in time. The blade cut into his shoulder. He fell to the ground. Kellyra roared with fury. She moved like fire, taking down all 3 rebels in seconds. She dropped to her knees beside Logan. "You fool," she said, pressing cloth to his wound. "Why did you do that?" "Because I couldn't let them take you." Her hands trembled, just a little. "You're bleeding. You need help." He smiled weakly. "I'll live. I've had worse." The battle raged for another hour. But Kellyra's side held strong. Raka led a surprise counterattack. Sarah climbed the tower and dropped stones on the rebels. From above, slowly, the rebels fell back. When it ended, the outpost was damaged, but still standing. Fires burned in the distance. Bodies lay in silence. Kellyra stood in the center yard, looking at the sky. Her armor was covered in dust and blood. Logan sat nearby, his wound bandaged, watching her. She turned to him. "You should have stayed behind." "You knew I wouldn't." She didn't smile. "They'll try again. More will come. Then we'll be ready." Lyra sat beside him. For the first time in days, she looked tired. "This place, ... I wanted to change it. I thought I could make it better." "You are," Logan said. "Change is hard, but you're doing something real." She looked at him. "I almost lost you." He met her eyes. "But you didn't." She was quiet for a moment. Then she took his hand. "You are not just a part of this now," she said. "You are part of me." Logan held her gaze. Then we moved forward together. Over the next few days, they rebuilt the outpost. The injured were treated. The fallen were honored. Some rebels were captured. Others fled into the wild. Kale IRA held a meeting with all remaining warriors. She spoke clearly. "We are not ruled by fear. Do not follow blindly. If you fight for power only, you will fall. If you fight for each other, we grow." Some warriors nodded. Others still looked unsure, but no one spoke against her. Logan walked among them, helping with wounds, repairing tools, showing kindness. That kindness did more than any speech it made. The others think. One evening, Sarah came to him. "Some of them still fear you," she said. "But they fear her more now, in a good way." Logan nodded. "That fear might turn into respect, if we're lucky," she smiled. "Or if we keep fighting for it." The outpost slowly returned to life, and the sky above was clearer, and the fires had gone out. But deep inside, Logan knew this was not the end. It was the beginning of something greater and more dangerous. Because now, they were not just fighting rebels. They were fighting history, and history never let go without a fight. Asterisk, the stars were bright that night, but the outpost felt darker than ever. Logan stood on the tower wall watching the quiet land. His shoulder still hurt, but the wound was healing. Down below, warriors worked slowly to fix the broken gates. Kalira joined him. Her armor was off, and her hair was tied back. She stood beside him without a word. "It's not over, is it?" Logan asked. "No," she said. "They lost the battle, but not the war. The old ways are deep. They don't die easily." They stood in silence. Logan could feel the weight on her shoulders. Changed the outpost, but that change had enemies. The next morning, a group of outsiders arrived. They wore the black and silver of the warlord's high guards. Kalira's father had sent them. Their leader was a tall female named Vetra. She walked with pride and spoke with force. "We bring order," she said. "By the warlord's command, we take control of this place." Kalira faced her calmly. "This outpost is mine. It was given to me." Vetra raised an eyebrow. "And yet we hear of chaos, rebellion, a human leading warriors. Strange stories, dangerous stories." Logan stood nearby. Vetra's eyes landed on him. "Is this the one they whisper about?" Kalira didn't blink. "He's under my protection." Then, "You have broken rules. No human may lead or teach within Zalari command." The guards moved in. Kalira drew her blade. "Try to take him," she warned, "and you'll see what chaos really looks like." Vetra smiled coldly. "You will answer to the warlord. You will leave with us, now." Kalira turned to Logan later that night. Her voice was low. "If I go with them, they will not let me return. They will strip my rank. Maybe worse." Logan shook his head. "Then don't go. We leave instead." "Leave." "Where?" "Anywhere. Somewhere far. We take who wants to follow. Build something new." Kalira looked at him. "Oh. Call it betrayal. Then let them. We call it freedom." She was quiet for a long time. Then she nodded. "We leave tomorrow night." That night, Logan, Kalira, and a few trusted warriors packed quietly. Sarah, Raka, and others joined. They took only what they needed: food, weapons, gear, before dawn. They moved through the east gate. It was risky, but the guards were watching the front. The land beyond the outpost was wild. Red hills, sharp rocks, and endless sky. They traveled fast, using Kalira's maps to guide them. By the second night, they reached a deep valley. There were caves for shelter and water nearby. Kalira stopped. "This is where we begin again," she said. Logan looked around. "It's quiet. It's safe." For now, they set up camp. Small fires, tents made of fur and cloth. The warriors moved with care. They were outlaws now, but they didn't look afraid. They looked free. Days passed. Logan helped build. He taught new ways of farming, of setting traps, of working together. Without ranks or fear, Kalira trained them to defend, but also to think, to ask questions. To lead by trust. One night, Logan sat with Sarah near the fire. "Do you think they'll come after us?" she asked. Logan nodded. "Yes, but we'll be ready. We're not just fighting them now, showing the world a new way." Sarah smiled. "Then we fight with hope." Kalira joined them. She sat beside Logan, her face calm. "They will send hunters, maybe even my father, but I do not fear them." Logan looked at her. "Because we're together?" She nodded. "Because we're together." That night, Kalira stood in front of the fire and spoke to all the warriors. "We were called traitors, but we are not. We are builders, dreamers, fighters for something new. Is not the end. This is our beginning." They raised their weapons, not in anger, but in promise, and in the shadows, far away. A message was sent. The warlord had learned of Kalira's escape, and he was coming.